Hey everyone, hope everyone is doing well, and welcome back to another commentary video. So in this workout, there's actually two of them in the same day, and I didn't do extra stuff necessarily. I just split my workout into two different things. So I did one before lunch, and then went in, ate lunch, and came back and did the second part. And after the snatches and clean and jerks, once I did my last set of presses, and I came back out and did some pulls and some front squats and front squat plus jerks. And the reason for that was just because I'm on spring break, so I can lift during the day, and it's something that I always want to do, like these 2-a-day workouts, because I think it's probably the most efficient way to work out if you have the time, because it does take an extreme amount of time of your day to obviously do two different workouts to warm up, work out, take a break, warm up again, work out again. Physically, it's actually easier to do it physically. It just takes a lot more time. So, I mean, the total time that I was working out was probably in excess of 4 hours, but that's including like the warm up time and all of the the time in between sets and stuff like that. But this workout actually went pretty well besides for jerks. I've been having some issues with the 315 jerk, which thankfully I was able to do yesterday. I think it was much more technical than anything else. But with the snatches here, I did some pause plus full. So I paused below the knee for a couple seconds and then did a rep, and then here did a full. Snatches went okay. It was kind of weird. I took some bigger jumps and had some different issues with that, but now that I've been getting my food intake back up, all my lifts have been feeling a lot better and a lot more consistent, just because I'm probably more recovered. So that's good here. I'm not putting the weights on these videos. These are all in pounds. Like this is either 155 or 175. At the house, I always try to I try to lift in kilos sometimes. Well, I should say not all the time, but sometimes. And if I'm doing like a 160 kilo clean, like I think I just posted a clip on Instagram on YouTube from yesterday. I do have like 1 pound plates. So if you see like little tiny plates, some of them, I think my yellow ones are both a half pound, so they add 1 pound in total, and the little red ones are both 1 pound. So I do have like little change plates at the house, so I'm able to get pretty precise and to get kilos on there, which is nice with here. The best part about this week of the spring break time, that's why I've been able to lift during the day, I probably already mentioned that, but is that it's been really warm out, and here I actually closed the door because the dogs were outside, and I didn't want Charlie to run in and die, because I don't trust myself enough with my lifting, or trust him to not just run in randomly to come in there while I'm doing a lift. But it did affect the lighting tremendously because it was really bright outside. So if you see some of the clips are blurry, I think my camera was having some issues with the lower light, especially after dealing with the higher brightness. But I had this closed for a little bit. This was 245, so 111 kilos. And this was kind of a double. I had to throw it down just because I was a little bit unbalanced. And you'll notice off to the far side, so on the side that's closest to the door, the bar or the plates, when they land, they seem like they kind of bounce kind of funny. That's because there's like a divot in the ground on that side. I think it's always been there since I've moved in, since I've been lifting in here. There's always been a divot, I think, and I'm sure the lifting has made it worse, but I don't know if the cement has ever been perfect on that portion, but I'm sure the repeating lifting of the weights isn't helping that ground maintain its rigidity in any sort of sense. I do have 2 layers of stall mats on there, so there is quite a bit of protection for there, and I am using bumpers, so I mean that about as much protection as I'm willing to do. I'm not going to get one of those crash pads. I don't really have enough space to lift and to have a crash pad kind of placed, just because I can't really throw it forward too much. But that was my last set of snatch, that 111 double kind of cluster, whatever you want to call it. Very difficult set, but I think the pause snatches are going to be good for me because they make me have to be in better positions, and what I've noticed, I'm just not very good at going very heavy with them. So when I do things like no foot snatches, I'm able to get up to like 120 kilos. I've done it a bunch of times. I think I've no foot snatched 123, or at least have done 120 multiple times, and I've attempted a little bit more than 120 a couple times. So I know that like the no foot portion isn't going to be as high of an impact if I were to drive up a lift like the pause snatch below the knee, which I always thought I was pretty good at, and so I never really did a ton of them. but I think pausing for longer makes them significantly harder, because I did like a pause snatch recently of like 123 or something like that, but it was a really brief pause. And I think this waiting that few extra seconds when I'm paused below the knee makes it significantly more difficult, because when I was more of like a Klokov type pause snatch, I was only able to do I think 110, and I failed 120, and I like clarked it. I didn't even attempt to go under it. So it's definitely something I want to get better at. This was a pause jerk with 315 that I tried to do, and I was not able to get. With this loading pattern on the bars, there's two blues, which makes 225, that yellow that makes 295, and then that little black plate's a 10 pound, so that was 315. And then this with the little blue and the green makes 330, so 150 kilos. This was a clip I posted of a pause clean. I actually think that was a PR. I thought about doing the jerk, but it just felt really heavy, so I thought better of it. And then I actually did a bunch of presses here, and you notice I did it at the beginning of the workout. So I really don't know why. It was just kind of random, but at the beginning, I actually came out earlier before I even worked out. So I guess you could say I worked out 3 times, but I only did like 1 set. I came out just to make sure the shed was set up how I wanted it to be for my workout, to move the boxes and stuff. And there was just 135 on the bar, and so I did a set of maybe 2 sets of like 1 clean and 3 presses. But here I just did 1 clean, and I think it was a set of 10, just to get some extra shoulder work in. It's always productive to do. And then this ended the first session, so I went in, had some macaroni cheese, came back out a little bit later, did some pulls. Where here I did the same kind of complex as I did for the regular snatches, where I did the pause below the knee plus the full. Maybe I did 2 pauses here, or that first one, maybe I just did the pause. I don't know. I took pretty big jumps for the pulls. Another thing I've been trying to do with the snatches, and it's kind of carried over the cleans, is starting my hips a bit lower. So still doing a dynamic start like I have always done, but starting a bit lower so that my head can be facing up, so I can have my eyes up forward. And I think that's helped me be a little bit more balanced and just a little bit more consistent on the pull, which I've noticed that sometimes I kind of get the bars swinging out too far initially, so then that just leads to other corrections. This lift here, I believe, was 315. I know I got up to 315 or 320, something like that. So I think that was 320 with that little green on there. Then I tried to do front squat plus jerks. Again, was stupid and took big jumps. I went from the 135 to 225 to 315. Really got to take that jump in between, just to build the tolerance, and just because it's a more intelligent thing to do. I have jumped from 102 to 143 before, so the 225 to 315 before, but it's just not consistent enough, and it's just too high for percentage jump. So I just have to get smarter with that. But this is pretty close. I think it's just a technical thing. So just doing the lift in between at like 275 or something just gives me more technical practice, so I can get more tolerated to the heavier weights. This is the last exercise that I did. I don't really know what to call these. Like jerk eccentrics, I guess, or concentrics, I should say, coming up. And so I lowered the squat rack, I think 2 notches. So obviously you can see it's quite low, and I'm doing like a quarter squat, a little bit higher than a quarter squat. My idea was to do it somewhere close to where I would do a jerk, or at least the concentric of it, and I got up to like 385 because I was annoyed I kept missing 315. So it's a little bit of jerk practice with that. Works on the upper back and the concentric portion of it. I think it's just a good exercise and not really that strainful to do. It's difficult, but doesn't put a lot of strain on your body. But that's about it. I think this will be one of my longer videos in quite a while because of the double workouts. But that's it for now. Talk to you all in the next video. Have a great day. Peace.